Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the webinar series where this month we are talking about understanding your relationship with responsibility in your life. So far, we have spoken about, uh, you know, the pattern where one feels that they are taking more than their capacity or their rightful place. That we spoke and understood in different ways last week as to what effect it creates in one's life, what challenges it can create, and how to identify if you're carrying more responsibility or overburdened yourself with someone else's responsibility. This week, we want to talk about the opposite side of it, where at times some of us get to listen to the comments like, you're not responsible enough, or sometimes we want to take up a responsibility but we are not trusted with it by the people around us or the elder ones around us, or we think that we need to do more and we are not able to do, we are not able to do enough, and we carry a guilt about not feeling responsible. So the opposite side of the spectrum, opposite end of the spectrum. Yeah, either not able to take the responsibility, which you at times understand that it is your rightful responsibility, but you are not able to take it. So, at times when we are growing up and we experience that, we try to do something as a child and we are told that either, you don't understand it as yet or you don't know how to do it, which could be either right or wrong depending on one's situation. But the child might interpret that, oh, maybe I'm not enough for this. I would love to do it, but I'm not enough for this. So while growing up, uh, in the age of around 7 to 8, right, Priya, when children start developing this industrious nature, like they would come forward and they say, I want to do this. You're doing something, you're working in the kitchen, and the child comes and says, no, 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 I want to do it. Or there are elder people like grandparents, and they are not able to do many things because of their physicality, which has changed. And these grandchildren in that age, they go forward and they say, oh, I'll do it for you. So this develops the industrious nature, means their ability to think and deliver what they think they can do, and which is part of our growth. We all go through that. Now, if in that stage something happens where they are discouraged or they are dismissed by elder ones, or maybe they are not actually discouraged or dismissed, but they have felt that, then they may interpret that they are not just enough for or good for anything. They can't do it. They can't handle a simple thing also, which may eventually show up as when it comes to take up the right responsibility for themselves or in a family dynamic, they are not able to do that. So they start feeling according to their rightful age what they need to do. Oh, they don't know how to do it. Now, not knowing something is not a problem, because if a person is in their right adult state, not knowing will make them go to seek right information or guidance on that. That's the adult. Let me find out. let me seek help. But if, oh, I don't know, and then someone freezes, or they just avoid a certain topic, then probably there is a pattern where they believe they are not able to do this, they can't handle this, which goes to the concept of they can't take up enough responsibility in their life. Right, Priya, you want to add something?
Yeah. In the stages of psychosocial development, like Gayatri said, the ages of 7 to 11 typically is the age of industry versus inferiority. So, like Gayatri said, this is the age when the child wants to start doing something and is supported enough to do it and is feeling a sense of accomplishment to do it. So, the child feels, oh, I can do it. And next time takes the responsibility to do it. Now, this negates the fact that we said in the earlier webinar and before that also that responsibility is not the work of a child. Responsibility is a term which is for an adult. So, what I just want to clarify at this stage is when we say an adult, we are not looking at an adult in terms of social norms. That is 18 plus. We are not saying that in therapy or in the concept of transactional analysis, where we talk of parent, adult, child. The adult is a person, like Gayatri said, where if I don't know something, I can go and ask, I can make my mistakes, I can face the consequences of my mistakes. I am okay to be wrong and I can be right in such things and I know who I am. Meaning the sense of self starts developing in a healthy manner for the adult. So please do not confuse when we say adult is a social norm of 18 plus. No. Anyone, like we have seen children in therapies at 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, say, you know what, I had to do this, or I know this is right and this is wrong for me. So that is an adult state already. It is a child in terms of age, but in mental development or psychological development, the child is already, um, strengthening the adult in them. So I just wanted to, clarify this that when we say responsibility starts from that age of 7 to 11, and after that comes identity. When the child starts saying, oh, you know what, I can do this. I have tried this, this works, this doesn't work. And that is the age when uh, most people who come with kind of sense of responsibility or guilt, most of the inner children reach that age. I'm not saying always it's like that, but most times the trauma begins around that age. Yeah, Gayatri, that's what we are meaning to say, right? So that is one thing where when a child is allowed to make the mistake, when the child is allowed to take up the responsibility for whatever it wants to do, is finding its resources to do it, is finding the resources to make mistakes, is finding the resources to correct the consequences of the mistake, and feels loved, secure, safe in all of this, then the sense of self moves in the track of feeling responsible, rightly responsible. And then that a child with such kind of a development can also take responsibility when it is wrong, because the child or that person knows that it is okay. I might not know certain things and it is fine because the consequences have not been harsh. When any of these scenarios happen, so if anywhere the child has not felt or has felt discouraged, demotivated, not enough, conditioned, or has felt no one has said anything but I have made it up or I have felt so, then there could be a possibility that that person might turn out to be a person who is not able to take responsibility for who they are and what they do. Yeah, Gayatri?
Yeah.
Would you like to, share from the family constellation angle how this works? Then this is about the psychosocial development.
Yeah. So in families where either parents or older siblings feel that they are not respected enough by their younger siblings or younger in the family, then they that may go back to experiencing exclusion. And one form of exclusion that happens is the younger one is taking more responsibility, which is of the older child's responsibility. Now, why the older child is not able to take it is that child's story. What they have experienced as a child and why they could not do it is their story. But then, because that needs to be done, and if the younger one comes and does that, then the older one will experience that they are not respected right. They are not respected enough because they are the older one. So, if any one of you have that kind of experience with your siblings, either you are younger one and you find it difficult to trust your older sibling with something, or you experience that you're not able to respect them fully, give them that place of they are the big ones as in order, or with your parents if you feel, then we know that first of all why they are not able to take the responsibility is their story, where they are entangled and what is their childhood trauma is their part. They are entangled somewhere is not an excuse for us to disrespect them. That's not what we are saying, or that's not what it means in order in the family, right? So if you are the younger one and you feel you have to take up more, that means they are not taking. Or if you are the older one and you feel they don't respect you enough, they don't trust you enough with certain things, then know that some aspect of you, some part of you is not able to hold the rightful responsibility. Because in terms of family constellation, the order uh, is very simple. It is not hierarchical. The order is the first one comes the first. So the one who entered the family first will always get the first place in the family. So parents come before children, so they get the first seat. The first child has come before the second child or the subsequent children, and they get the respect according to their rightful place, and they also perform the duties according to their rightful place. This is the simple definition of order. So when we say that the older child needs to take care of the younger sibling, we are not saying they need to do something or perform certain duties like parents in absence of parents. But we all know when we are growing up, the older sibling will have a natural instinct to protect the younger sibling in absence of parents. So they will do something more for their younger siblings than the younger one can do. So we all first of all need to really understand, if you want to come out of any of these dynamics, if you're stuck in that, like either you're overburdened or you feel you are not able to take up the rightful responsibility in your life, or you simply have a confusion about what is my rightful responsibility at this point, for myself, for my partner, for my children, for my parents, for my siblings, anybody, then know that that confusion is coming from some place of entanglement. Because confusion is again classically, if that confusion doesn't let you go ahead beyond itself, then it is classically a child state, not an adult state. Because like Priya said, An adult can also be confused, but adult who's responsible, resourceful adult doesn't have all the ready-made answers. But when I'm confused, oh, let me think. Whom can I talk to regarding this particular matter? That ability to think is also a resource. And then going to them and showing them that kind of vulnerable side, that I don't understand this. Can you please guide me, teach me? And taking that guidance, applying it, making a mistake, learning from it, all this openness is the adult state. If somebody says, I'm confused, and they can't do anything about it. So if you feel you're confused about how much responsibility is right responsibility in your life, and you are not able to go beyond that confusion, then know that it is an inner child. Or if you say, I don't know, I don't understand, and you feel blank over there, you feel stuck in that, then it is child personality in you who's trying to understand. So the one common effect of imbalance in the responsibility, someone not taking their rightful responsibility, will create conflicts in the relationships. So families where members have conflicts with each other, in clear words, they are not in their rightful places. That's one dynamic. Another dynamic, as a child, at times we have felt that, oh, one of my parents is not responsible enough, right? They might have done something, or they might have not done something, not able to do something. And as a child, we take sides. We constantly interpret the things in our own understanding. Again, it is not wrong. That is the way we observe and learn. Many times, those conclusions, those belief systems, or those interpretations about our parents, about their behavior, are not completely rooted in truth or completely rooted in reality. It is a filter which is created. So if someone has thought that their father was not responsible enough because in a particular age they saw either uncle or a friend's father doing something responsibly which their father could not do, or was absent in doing that, then they might interpret that, oh, my father is not responsible enough. Now what will happen to this child? Consciously, this child is somewhere thinking and deciding, I do not want to become like my father. And when we reject a part of our parent, we unconsciously become that. We carry that because that is how we can honor them, and that is how we can feel connected to them. So if you have had any dynamic at different ages, you felt here my mother was not responsible enough. She was either physically not present, and that's what it means, that she was not responsible, or she didn't care enough for me or my siblings, or my father didn't do certain things, or he overdid certain things. Then you know that somewhere you might be carrying that within you. And if you start finding these particular uh, indications in your life where you struggle with, you have ideas but you can't act on it, or you feel confused about what is my rightful responsibility right now. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a wife, or I'm a brother to somebody. What do I do? Then you know that there is some confusion about this word responsibility. Or you have felt at some point that you are not enough. And that conclusion and that coping is playing in your life. Yeah, Priya, you want to add something, it seems.
One more dynamic that came to me, which we observe in a lot of constellations and in a lot of our clients, Gayatri, I'm sure you'll agree, is when we take a situation where there has been an extremely critical parent, and the parent has conditioned and has made the child a particular way. Now, fast forward to many years, and the person enters therapy, and the person says, "You know what? I'm not able to take control of my life because this happened to me. I was controlled, and I felt like this, and I'm." 9 out of 10 times, the first thing that we say is, "Can you take the responsibility today for what happened?" And when the person is still in the mode of blame towards their parent, that because of them I have not been able to do this, or because of the situation I have not been able to do this, then they are still not taking responsibility of their life. They might feel that, you know what, I'm reaching therapy, I'm taking charge of my life, I'm doing things consciously. But if there is a tinge of blame anywhere, then the total sense of responsibility will not come. So, if one of the things I think that you can ask yourself is, am I still blaming my situations, the people around me, for something that is not working in my life? Because at some time later, maybe you might feel guilty for it. You know what, I should have done this then. So, that could be an indication of you not being enough responsible for your own life. Will you agree with that, Gayatri? Have you seen this dynamic?
Yeah, in fact, one of the most difficult parts of the blame is self blame.
Oh, yes.
We blame ourselves for not doing something or doing something in the past, and that is also kind of avoidance of responsibility. Because when I'm blaming either there or here, I'm not taking the ownership of what it is today and what I want to make it. I'm spending my energy into blame. And underneath blame, there would be emotion, either hurt or anger towards them or myself. So, even that is an avoidance of responsibility. So, it is beyond blame.
Hmm.
When we say that, "Oh, look at this, you created this unconsciously, that is your responsibility." So, it's not that, oh, you are to be blamed, that you only created. But you take the ownership of, oh, okay, this is I don't know how I created it. But if I now take the charge of the situation, then I can learn how I created it so that I can unlearn, and then I can start altering my choices and I can start creating what I want to create. So I think these are the general indications of people who struggle to take the responsibility. Not that they always want to avoid. Sometimes we do develop a coping of avoiding the responsibility, because whenever we want to do something and we are not able to do, that means there is a hidden benefit out of it. Because when we say we are God of our own universe, if I say something I want to do it, I'll go and do it. But if I say, oh, I want this and I'm not acting towards it, or somehow I'm not doing it, then there is a hidden benefit out of it. And that may at times show up in the form of avoidance of responsibility. So people are usually, termed or labeled as, oh, you're just not interested. You're just irresponsible. But if we go beyond that label, then something is happening with that individual. Something is happening with you. When you feel you want to change something in your life, but you are not able to. So, where the responsibility of your old creation lies, you need to find that and own it up. And that's how it starts. So, it's not just about, tomorrow you changing and taking more responsibility in your life outside of you, but even for your own life. We'll start from here. So, we invite you to look for these indications. Do you feel stuck with certain things, execution of certain ideas? Do you listen to these terms many times that, you know, life is easy for you. You do not have to take many responsibilities. How do you feel with that? Do you feel okay? Do you feel something? So then, what is the conflict within you? You want to take up the responsibility or you don't want to take up, but then the consequences of not taking the responsibility is painful for you. So all these things can open up for you. So last week we looked at over responsibility. Today we are talking about under responsibility. Maybe you can sit with these two things and see. It might also be that in one aspect you are overly responsible and in some other aspect you are not enough responsible. You know? So even that might happen. Today afternoon we had a Reiki class, and one of the techniques we were practicing, and I asked my student that are you taking over responsibility of your parents in your head? Forget about what you do, but do you feel that, oh, I should be taking more care of them? And she said yes. And then the next statement is like, I'm not able to take responsibility for my own life enough because I'm so caught up there in my head that the things I want to do for my own life, I'm not just available. I don't have energy and time. So, overly responsible just in her thoughts for parents, not enough responsible for her own dreams and desires and goals. So, there can be compensation for one thing with the opposite behavior. That is also possible. So, find out where you stand with different aspects in your life. Is there confusion in any aspect with respect to responsibility? Where is the clarity? Are you able to understand the clarity of responsibility from one aspect and put it in other aspects in your life or not? So it will open up a lot for you about your relationships, about how you look at your own self, and how you feel people around you look at you. How do you feel about that? So I think that's what we want to share today. If you sit and do this work, next week we want to speak about how to find your way out of this. What can you do? Yeah, Priya, is that all?
Yes.
So let's then. I think before completing, I want to add one more dynamic over here, the responsibility between partners. Remember last time we spoke that you feel overly responsible or your partner feels overly responsible, and another person feels that they are supposed to do this. So I just want to say that one more time that in a partner relationship or a man woman relationship, an adult relationship, it is a relationship between two equals. So one person is not supposed to, take care of another person. But they both, if they are adult enough, they will stand, they will take care of themselves. In that, they can take, you know, companionship or some kind of support from each other. That when I go through this, please hold space for me. Or when I go through this, maybe there will be one extra thing you will have to handle. Right? That is between them, what they agree upon. But when they stand in their own adult and they take responsibility of their emotions, they can face what life throws at them individually and grow out of it. And in that, whatever they create here, more sense of freedom, strength, love, they can share that with their partner in a healthy way. Like they will share only to the degree that their partner can healthily receive. They will not overburden by giving too much of love, too much of support to their partner. Yeah. So sit with this, look at your important relationships, dynamics, different aspects in your life. See what you feel about it. Where do you feel responsible and where do you feel not responsible? And when you find it, be compassionate to yourself. Thank you.